In a typical 9 deck, we're trying to cycle Hue as fast as possible, either playing Fighting Spirits or ways to cheat them out. But in this video, we're going to be talking about making 9 into a support character who actually becomes a draw engine to enable our other DPSs to do their thing. Be sure to like and subscribe, follow over on Twitch, let's hop straight into the build. We have Counterblade to autoplay itself, we have Fatal Strike so it stays in our hand, doesn't pollute our draw pile once we draw it, right? We have residual herbs with a bunch of draw ones all over the place, including this one with vulnerable just in case. We have her holding Tentacles of Chaos to amp up the rest of our team, extra shield gain with the modifier, we have Phototype Synthetic to also act as damage amplification, and shield gain amount increase as the other modifier. This does nothing. Going to the rest of our team, we have the raid deck that we've now seen multiple times over at this point, where it's just a bunch of morale stacking and deck thinning so that we can enable our other two teammates to do their thing. We have our classic, lay a bunch of spores, call it good, opening found, Dunzo. So let's hop straight into the Plague Lord. So the beauty of playing this style of deck, right, is that we're able to have a draw bot while having her also be a shield bot at the same time. So we can actually double dip into both a little bit. We're only going to play one opening found there just so we can have our shield engine starting to rev up. Perfect. We play our opening found. We continue trying to find even more. If we want, we can just burn this Ironclad. Since we don't really have a good burn target, we could just burn Resonating instead, but just for this sake, we'll just burn the Ironclad. We have Residual Herb in our hand, which I'll actually do this so we can try to further find and dig through our deck to get another opening found. So we're hunting. We could play that Repent, that is an option. We will shield just this attack entirely. We still have 3 more draws that we could do with Guilty Pleasure, so I'm actually going to play out this Spore and this Spore. And we still have even more draw with this Residual Herb, right? So we can actually go ahead and burn this Spore. We can play out this Spore just to apply a bunch of Vulnerable. Takes a while with the animations, you know. Vulnerable. We play out this Spore. We can use Snack Time to eat the Spore we have in the middle of our hand. We take a bunch of Necrosis damage, but it doesn't really matter too much. There is another opening found. Perfect. Now, we still have this one in discard pile, but we don't have the mana to play it though, so there's not really a reason to try to draw it, right? We can burn this Fatal if we want to start filling up our hand with a bunch of spores, which we might as well. Either way, we have Residual Herb bouncing back to our hand because it does have that retrieve property, right? So we'll play our Ironclad because 9 will just autoplay that, be our shield bot for us, and we can take advantage of a Residual Herb to do our drawing now. We can play our Repent, we found what we needed, so now we can just convert to our regular barrel game plan. Is there anything worth drawing here? No, not really. Yeah, we can just now play a typical draw style barrel now. Alright, so as you can assume, like, from here, it's fairly a linear game plan, right? It's just going to be Beryl does her thing over and over again, and we just went through a pure attrition, right? So now I'm going to take the opportunity to talk about Rita a little bit, because, you know, we can kind of see what's happening at this point, right? Beryl's just going to do her thing, go crazy with our 5 morale that we've stacked up. 9 is just shielding every single turn if we need it, but we don't really need it. We can just play to our inevitable game plan of just winning through spores doing their thing, right? I mean, I'll just play out this Fatal Strike, why not, to completely lock our hand with spores. But yeah, so we'll just continue pinging it down. But talking about Rita, I wanted to talk a little bit about her theme and potentially the kind of like keywords she can bring in, right? So I think she'll probably bring in a keyword called Rewind. If you're familiar with Hearthstone, it's a mechanic where you can re-roll your RNG, get like a bad outcome from a card that you play. You can rewind that outcome to try to roll the dice once more, right? That's sort of what Rewind does in a nutshell. Alrighty, so for this next segment, because I don't want to just have Sporyl do her thing, we're going to be running our Nuke Tiphera deck, where we have Orlea here, amplifying our damage for that one big hit with growth acceleration and growing creatures. We got Gear Bag, and we also guarantee drawing a Gear Bag at the start of turn with Sphere of Randomness. So we'll end up with 6 cards plus a Gear Bag at the very beginning. We also have Fine Camouflage just in case bad things happen. For our Tiphera deck, it is a Quantum Seed with a Divine for 1 AP, so we get a draw 1 and a 1 AP. In case we predict incorrectly, it's fine because we're always going to be picking squares, so we can at least thin out a triangular circle if we guess correctly. For Creation and Destruction, we just try to high roll for as big of a number as possible, and hopefully crit with that big number as well. Dual Creation is here just as a buffer to generate more squares in case we need to clear out more archetype cards from our draw pile. So moving forward, let's move into the actual Viadeus combat. Damn, that's a pretty good start. Alright, so residual, we proc a Gear Bag, proc another Gear Bag, I think. Yeah, we want to try to get Growing Creations in our hand as quickly as possible. If we can get all 3 to activate with that Will of Light that we have in hand, then that would be the most optimal thing. Either way, we want to do Will of Light and Growth Acceleration so we can also start stacking Vulnerability. But I'm just going to play this one that applies Vulnerable 1, the Residual Herb, and get our Vulnerable stacking, and also just get it out of our hand because it's kind of useless otherwise. And we'll keep on drawing and see if we get anything good here. Alright, so probably Dual Creation here. We want to do, it doesn't really matter that we lose the square there, it's just that we want to be cycling the AP generation. That's always a fine fallback option. We got our Event Horizon with 2 AP and draw 3, so I'm just gonna see we had 8 cards in hand, so I just play it. We do fill up our hand entirely. We drew another Growing Creation, that's really nice. And we might as well just play our Will of Light there. Try to pick square. Unfortunately, we guessed incorrectly, right? So now we have 1 extra archetype card kind of just chilling in our deck. Thankfully, we guessed incorrectly. We want to guess incorrectly on purpose, by the way. We don't want to fill up our draw pile with clutter if we can avoid it. We guessed correctly once again. We're on a roll of guessing correctly. So that's alright though. We're able to thin out our draw pile entirely, so we're solid there. Alright, turn 2. This is where the game plan gets pretty simple. It's just play Growth Acceleration every turn, play Will of Light when we find it, and get Event Horizon stacked all the way up to 3. We don't have our E1, so it doesn't stack all the way up to 4. So yeah, we just try to stack up our Event Horizon, we play it out. We don't have any extra draw in our hand there, so we just opt to just play it right then, even though it's 2 out of 3. Get our Quantum Seed. We continue to guess correctly. We might as well apply for the lottery at this point, because we could probably win that too, with how many times we guessed the 1 out of 3. And we'll just play our Will of Light. Okay, so turn here is going to be, we just continue drawing. We want to find our Event Horizon if we can, but we also want to probably play this Will of Light sooner than later as well. It's fine if we burn these archetype cards, they just vanish if your hand is entirely full. We essentially replace the Quantum Seed with the card that we draw anyways. That's all that matters. So we continue doing our predictions. We keep guessing incorrectly, which is once again the thing we want to happen. We start playing our other Residual Herb where we're fully done. So now 9's draw engine is now completed, right? We've drawn all 6 cards that we're able to draw. We don't want to play the Ironclad if we're able to avoid it because we don't want 9 to eat up all the stacks. Hey guys, Artemis from the future here. I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward the footage a little bit because I think at this point you understand the core game plan that we're going for when we're going for this Nuke Tiphera strategy. Sweet. So there you have it, guys. Hopefully that demonstrates a little bit of the power that this 9 deck can bring. I know it's a little bit more of a gimmick deck, but at the end of the day, it's pretty interesting what you're able to do with these neutral cards, right? Especially that have the retrieve keyword on them. With all that being said, guys, take it easy. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Follow me over on Twitch. I do dual stream here and over there at the same time, so whatever you prefer. And I'll see you next time. Catch you later.